Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello. And it is January 6th, and it is a Wednesday, and we are halfway through the week of the first week of the year, first week of the month, and we are currently reading the DaVinci Tarot deck. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck, even though the images are kind of more muted colors and they're not that kind of exciting to look at. I do love Da Vinci's works, and I have, kind of an affinity for all of the things that he did. So these are a really fun deck. I also think that because this deck comes with a really neat book that has like all of the interesting commentary about the cards, as well as some questions to kind of help you delve a little deeper into each card. I think that it fits with like the whole New Year's thing of keeping a journal and keeping check on things and that kind of deal. So, without further ado, let's see what card we draw for this crazy Wednesday. All right. Okay. Well, it's a pentacle. So we are back to that again. I think we had pentacles yesterday too. And it is the Nine of Pentacles. So typically this card is shown more with a woman in her garden kind of thing, which it talks about how kind of all the things that you do and the ideas that you have and how you're going to pass those on to the next people. And also kind of allowing your success to settle in a little bit and enjoy the moment. The idea of the Nine of Pentacles can be a little bit twofold because we see this woman typically, in this case, it is, I think it's Simon the Zealot. That's an interesting choice for this card. But I guess in some ways, yes, he is enjoying a little too much of his vision of success. So in this case, it's knowing that you're successful and feeling that success and almost being a little too involved in it, almost to the point of being selfish. Whereas the flip side is sort of being able to take that success and pass it to the next person and say, hey, look, I built this, it's wonderful, but now I'm going to step back a little bit and see what you do with it. So that's something a little bit different with this character on this card. So that's a bit different. That's a bit unique. I do like that he's still in the garden and he's still kind of offering the hands out, which to me is indicative of passing on something or at least showing to others, hey, look, this is what I have. You may see it, you may touch it. And that's there. But again, the character of Simon the Zealot is a kind of tricky one, I guess you could say, for success of things. He is a little bit obsessive about, obviously, Zealot, a little bit obsessive about successes and things like that. So I feel like maybe he's a little more on the negative side of this card, where it's like almost gloating about your success rather than sharing it with others. So hesitate a little when you see this card, hesitate to gloat about the things that you do or the successes that you have, your wealth, your riches, those kinds of things. And again, it's usually to do with things that are tangible, material goods. So if you're the type of person who's like, hey, I have this beautiful garden and I have all these beautiful things and no wealth, and I would love for you to come on in and have a cup of tea with me and enjoy. If instead you're like, look, this is my beautiful garden, and no, you cannot come in, it's mine. So, nines are a little bit finicky in the sense of, yes, they are typically kind of that culmination of whatever the story of the suit is. It is also kind of a one more step to kind of passing it on to the next person or even the next generation, depending on how you look at it. But nines often have that energy, whether it is material in the sense of the pentacles, and therefore it has more to do with wealth and all of those kinds of things in the physical sense, or like the Nine of Cups, which we've seen, and he's kind of hoarding all of those cups, and that's an emotional hoarding. That's something a little bit different. So all of these things are really interesting. Card for a Wednesday in the middle of the week, but you know, it is what it is. So I hope that some of you get some interesting insights from this card today. And also, like, I really love the features of this character. If you look at the facial features on him, he's just amazing. I I do love Da Vinci's artwork and his skill with the human anatomy and understanding like where the body and the structure of it is. I also know that some of his successes with this came from some what we might consider a little bit on the shady side when it came to how to get to into the inner workings of the human body. But it was a different time, and anatomy classes weren't as run of the mill as they are today. So, that said, again, I really like these cards because they have multiple language on them. So, if you're a multilingualist like I am, it's kind of fun to see the different languages on the cards. Before I get too involved in this, let's see what the little words of wisdom are on this one. And I kind of put a couple bookmarks in here to help me out with turning to at least the right sections. All right, there we go. Okay, so the questions, the journaling that maybe you want to do with this card is, what legacy will your own actions leave to those who follow you? And to what extent are you in touch with your own cultural or ethnic values? So I find it interesting that it's so focused on values because value is usually more tangible in the sense of Pentacles. It's not values in your ethics and your morals, it's more your value, as in the almighty dollar or gold or material possessions, what have you. So this is interesting. And also, how might you benefit by seeking advice or training from an experienced teacher? So this is turning it a little bit on its head and saying, hey, go spend some of your success and yet go look to somebody else who's even more successful than you are to see how you can continue to grow. So I don't know. Those are interesting for this particular card, but I like it. I do like it. And I think that these cards, while they're not perfect for somebody who's a beginning reader, they are still a fun and valuable set that I find really interesting, and I'm glad to share them with you. So until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and I will see you next time